Well, good morning. Today is the next day. Um, as you guys know, we're working on this '82 Chevy C10 that seems to be in pretty bad shape. They brought it to me just to pretty much check what was wrong with it. I mean, they had issues of the steering wheel being way too loose. Another issue was one side of the truck was lower than the other, and as you could recap on, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but what we found out yesterday was the actual spring was wearing out the bottom of that A arm, which was in turn making the spring itself almost pop through the bottom, which was making the compression of that spring different than the other side, which was making this side lower. Now, after talking to the owner of the vehicle on what he wants to do and how far into he wants to get, I'm gonna turn you guys around real quick and let's see what we found. It's pretty bad. Give me a second. Okay, so we are inside of the driver's side wheel well. Steering steering shaft from up above. Everything's been taken off. A arms, the whole thing. Got the brake fluid just getting kind of drained in here. But check this out. So somebody has been definitely in here before, and everything is it's either broken or breaking, cracked or cracking. Now I'm not 100% sure if this vehicle has been in a crash, and I think maybe they just kind of put it together just so they can sell it, because as you can see, the truck itself, it's a very nice truck, considering the paint job and the rims, and it's got a full system and this and that, this and that. The truck itself is a beautiful looking truck. But this, somebody did this. That is a blowtorch. This is a plate that's been put through the back. How this has a big, huge hole here, I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty bad looking. Now, pretty much, I got to go ahead and do what I got to do to fix it. Now, how are we gonna go about and fixing this? It's the next problem. Well, next not problem, but the next issue that we're gonna get into. I mean, because it's cracked. See that? It's cracked, and it's just gonna continue to go. This side's gonna meet this side, and the bottom's just gonna crack. Now, these wells gave out. As you can see, it never penetrated the actual metal, so it actually just separated. The weld separated from where they were trying to weld it to. So, I mean, essentially, if you were to clean this and re-weld it and make sure it was welded right, it would hold up. But that's just not. It's just not gonna fly. This is too much. This is more than just a backyard kind of put it together. From what I've been told, a shop actually did this. That I don't know. I mean, I hope not, because this is pretty bad. Now, I was thinking in my head, okay, we'll just cut this off, put a new plate, weld it in, call it good. But the issue that I'm having with that is the steering pump itself doesn't sit flush against this. And I'll show you over here. I actually have it taken off over here. Take you guys over here. The only issue with it is that, see this pump? See this hump here? that actually would hit the frame first if we went flat. So we can't go flat. What we could essentially do is, obviously get longer bolts and make somewhat of a spacer to where this would be flush, and then you can just plate that and bump this up to it, and this would be maybe about just eyeballing it 3/8 or so. But then again, we also have to connect this to the shaft, so we don't have too much play. However, we do have some play because this does flex a little bit, but this is the only thing that's keeping me from just cutting that thing apart, putting a new plate on it, and calling it good is this. Now, I think I'm gonna try to do the little spacers. If I cut this plate off, find some type of tube, something that'll fit these bolts. So it would probably look like, because you can see that this has got like a rib in it. So this is actually higher than this. So this is like the indentation where that middle piece sits. Now, I do see like a rosebud, maybe, or maybe that's just the heat from welding or something. But I think this section actually is sunk in stock. And then this is a factory point. Look, this is broken too. This is a factory point. This is a factory point. This is not a factory point. Where's this hole? I have no idea. But what I do have is I got this wire wheel here. I'm gonna clean up this whole area and see what we got going on, and maybe we got to get this hose out of here too, because this whole side is cracked too, and I was not able to get that fitting off on the other side because it's so, it just feels like it's gonna crack. I guess if I have to, I can just make this hole a little bit wider just to get this fitting through. Compared to what we have already, I don't think that would be that big of an issue. But for now, let me clean this up and I don't know, see what kind of game plan pops in my head while I'm cleaning this up. I'll cut you guys back on and we'll have a better look at what we got going on here. Put you guys back on the stand. It's gonna be a bit loud, so I think I'll just go ahead and do this first, and then I'll cut you guys here back in a little bit. But hang tight, we'll see what we got. Check this out. All right, so we are wire wheeled. There's a massive crack coming off of here. There's the repair job. Not sure why this repair was needed to be done. There's the bottom. Here's this side. I know that pump has 4 screws, so I'm assuming that this is a factory one, so is this one. So there's probably a screw here. That's why they had that huge washer. So the washer was actually doing what the frame was supposed to be doing. So I see that. So I think what I'm gonna do next is, there's one bolt holding this bumper. This bottom one's not there. This bottom is broken. I do, however, have it. The broken piece was still bolted onto here. This was cut off or broke off. I'm gonna take that bolt off, clean up under here, and hopefully I don't find any more surprises back here. And we'll be right back. Upper bracket is down, out of the way. These holes look good. Frame is still good there. Obviously not good there. I think I want to keep this hole here because it's a factory hole, and this one too. You can see there's stretch marks here. Might be able to grind into those, grind into that one, fill it in, grind it flush. Because there's not a lot of pressure here, guys. Like, there's really not a lot of pressure, so I don't know how it got to this bad unless the truck was crashed. So there's really not that much pressure holding this thing here. But I mean, look, this is what we got. So I kind of hit this. This kind of lined up. So I mean, we might be able to hook this back up. Um, you know, this guy just goes through here, has a little clip, holds that in place. Could probably save this one, weld up to here, grind all this weld off, maybe weld this properly. I'll be able to save this piece here. I'm pretty much trying to save as much factory locations as possible. I'm not sure what to do with this thing, but what the heck? What the thing wasn't even. No way. No way. Not one piece of weld held this thing on here. I only tapped this thing. No way. That is crazy. Oh, look, check it out. It's MIG wire, you know what I mean? So it's MIG. And from the look of it, I mean, it was hot. It was hot and nice and in there, but man, that is crazy. Oh, and they just filled this thing up with boogers in here. Dang. I've never seen one this bad, ever. Wow. Man, if this was done at a shop, tis to you guys, man. No, you don't do this, man. On a frame? Well, this channel's not for that. Hey, it is what it is. It's here to try to get fixed. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. It can't get any worse, for sure. You know, worst case scenario, I cut this whole piece out, weld a new one, grind it, make sure it's in there nice. But I know I could fix this for sure. Fix that, save this. This is gonna be saved. That one's good. This could be, you know, just re-weld this back. I might be able to even actually reshape this, save this hole. So I have my two factory mounts. And then I know I have a mount somewhere in here. And I have a mount somewhere in here. So fix this area, and then fix this whole area here. And then make a new hole, fix this area, make a new hole. And I think we're gonna be just fine. This part over here is a little bit tricky because we have this, and you know that goes to the motor. But he's gonna have to make that call. So that wasn't part of the job, but it most definitely needs to be done. You know, even if it gets done at a later time, save up some money and bring it back later. But this, we're gonna need to get on this. So let me clean this up and grind some of this well, I know them as dingleberries, but this weld splatter stuff on here. Take that off, see if we can fix this, fix as much as we can, and I'll be right back. in a few hours. All right. A few hours later, I patched up as many cracks as I could, ground into them, beveled them out, and completely cut out this whole center section. I mean, it was bad. And you can see there's even stuff behind it that's still. I don't even think it's actually holding on to anything. I'm just gonna hit it with a hammer. I'm actually just gonna leave this little piece just to help me fit this. Go from behind, knock it out of there. Got another little piece just kind of sitting in there. Now, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that we could have gone about this. I reached out to the owner, and sorry, I got you guys looking at the floor. I was trying to put that piece back in there, but oh well. Reached out to the owner, showed him just how bad it really was. Um, I did run some weld, rebuilt, well, rebuilt the holes so they're usable. Um, these should hold up. I mean, there's not too much pressure on these. I was able to remake this whole hole, remake this one. So these are actually factory holes. After I put this plate in, I'll go grab my piece, bolt it up, or put it where it goes, see where this one's at, drill this one, probably do the same thing. That way it's all sitting as if it was factory. So it's actually going to bring it out, an eighth inch or whatever, but it'll bring them all out the same instead of me trying to figure out the distance of each individual one, because depending on where it sits on the frame, this one's at a different level than this one, and this one's at a different level than this one. I don't know. It would have been too much for something that just needs to be bolted up. That's not going to have too much pressure on it. I was more worried about this crack, but I clamped it together, grinded it in, welded it. You can feel the weld from the inside. That shouldn't go nowhere. I think once all this is boxed in, welded up, I'm not gonna completely take the welds off. I'm just gonna hit it where our steering gearbox goes, and try to leave as much weld as possible. So give this thing at least a chance. Now I know he was talking about bagging this truck in the future, so if we do get to that point, when we get to that point, I think it'll be a good idea to readdress this and possibly even just cut this and get another one, and Z cut the frame, and just put a whole new piece in the front. This is just to get them back on the road. This is definitely going to be a lot better than what it was. Once it's all said and done, it'll be at least solid. You won't see most of the stuff, but I mean, I'll have at least peace of mind that it is welded, and it'll be better than what it was. I mean, that's all I could do is try to make it better than what it was. I mean, you seen what I started with. It wasn't too much going there. Uh, so that's where I'm at. We'll keep going. Well, there's that. It looks like a whole bunch of repairs, but that's exactly what it is. Patch panel here, follow all the cracks, dig into them, fill them in, I'm kind of lightly kind of blend this. I definitely don't want to take any of the welds off completely. Um, right here, the only thing that really matters is these holes, and that our piece sits on this thing flush, so we don't get to where it was before, that eventually it loosens up and wobbles around. So this should be plenty of strong enough once it's all cooled down. And I'm gonna hit it with just a sanding pad. Some people know it as a tiger disc or flapper disc. Just lightly sand a little bit, mostly where the bolts go, just so it sits flush. And I'm getting hungry, so do this. I'll probably go eat something. Start picking up some of my kids from school. But man, that was a lot of work for just something so simple. But I mean, this is somebody's safety, man. I mean, it has to be done. It's a lot more important than putting airbags on my truck. This has a more of a meaning to me. So we're gonna finish this up. I did get the go ahead from him to, if the frame and everything works out, which I think it should, everything should be fine. I'm gonna throw everything back on. We are gonna cut a coil off of the spring because he wants to lower it like 2 inches, 2.5 inches in the front, so it levels out with the back. We're not gonna lower the back anymore because it's already rubbing. He has some rubbing issues that we need to address. So maybe some different wheels or some spacers or something. I do, however, have some drop hangers. So if we do put some spacers in there where it doesn't rub, it's easy. We can throw those in, no problem. But for now, I'm gonna clean this up, take a little break, and we'll be back here in a couple hours. All right, see you guys later.